And I just gotta say it straight up to you. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no sparing your feelings. You're probably a loser, bro. If you find yourself scrolling your life away, watching other men go on their journeys, go on their adventures, and wishing that could be you while you sit at home and do nothing, you have no goals, you're addicted to a whole bunch of things, you just don't feel good about yourself or your life trajectory in general, you're not getting what you want out of life, you're not being the person you want to be, you're not taking steps towards that, you're not seeing success. And I'm gonna go by Earl Nightingale's definition of success, which is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, if you don't understand that, basically means taking steps towards a goal that you set for yourself. So if you set a goal to climb a mountain, metaphorically, and you start to climb the mountain, you are successful. It doesn't matter that you haven't gotten to the top yet, because you're going to get there if you keep going. You're successful when you step out on a journey. But if you're not stepping out, if you're not setting a goal for yourself, if you're not striving and reaching to be more, and you're in a situation where you know it's making you feel bad, you know you feel depressed, you are a loser. I just gotta say it straight up to you. And that's okay, because once you actually own up to it and you're being honest and you confess and you stop resisting this, because what you resist persists. If that's your life situation, if you're broke, if you're fat, if you're whatever, just own up to it. It's not that serious. You can laugh at it once you own up to it. But when you resist what's really going on in your life, in your world, you're perpetuating it. And I can't sugarcoat that with you. I'm not that person that's going to tell you what feels good so you can stay in the same position that you've been in, that you don't feel good about, that you know you need to change, that you know you want to change, that God is calling you to change that thing, that God is calling you to be more, to do more, to be great. And you're ignoring that because you want to feel good about your situation rather than actually stepping out and evolving and changing. There's no resisting it anymore. Be honest about your situation, whatever situation you're in life. Be completely honest and own it. Say, yo, that's a part of me. A part of me likes that. A part of me is that. That's your shadow. That's the unconscious that Carl Jung was talking about. Needs to come out to the surface so it can stop controlling your life. Because if you just want to feel good about everything and be in this euphoria 24/7, like, yeah, I feel good about my life situation, even though I'm not really living life, even though you're living life like one of those old school movies where society advances and civilization advances and people are basically drugged up and they're not thinking and they're not living like real human beings and they're so separated from the actual reality and they don't even know it. That's how you're living. You're drugged up by social media, by scrolling, by all this outside information, by everybody else's opinions, by actual drugs, by actual alcohol, by nicotine, by the adult videos, by eating. You're sedating yourself. You're sedating your pain. But what you don't realize, that pain is growth. That honesty is growth. That uncovering the unconscious is growth. So you may have been losing this whole time in your life until now. And you may have identified as that and said, this is my identity. And now you want to feel good about having that identity rather than actually changing the root cause, which is the identity that you've built up. And you can change that. You can change that identity to a winner, to a successful person. And yeah, there's going to be things in the way. When you set that goal, there's going to be emotional blockages in the way. There's going to be limiting beliefs that's in the way of that goal, but that's the journey of letting go of those limiting beliefs. That's the spirituality of this. You're letting go of the conditioning, of the programming and the limitations on your mind so that you can take real bold action and actually love your life, Because fear is not love. Fear is the opposite of love. So are you going to love yourself today? Are you going to love your flaws? Are you going to love your life situation that you created for yourself? No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you became this person. It's not your fault that you were programmed to be a certain way. And I feel you, bro. Because when I was at my lowest point, when I was depressed, when I was socially anxious, when I felt like everybody was better than me, when I was sitting there scrolling, watching other people succeed, and I wasn't seeing none of that, and I just felt bad about myself and my life situation. It wasn't my fault. But I had to take responsibility. I had to step out and I had to be courageous to change that around. And it happened. And I'm telling you that it can happen for you too. That you can feel good about yourself. You can be someone, a man, who actually is strong, who is powerful, who is valuable to himself, who is worth it to himself, who can go out and face these challenges, who can face adversity, and is capable of continuously going through pain and hurt, but keeping an open heart and growing through that. Instead of being this nice guy and you're trying to sugarcoat everything, and you're trying to sugarcoat how you really feel, and you're trying to sugarcoat your situation and making it seem better than it is. Bro, just be honest. If you've been losing up until now, if you don't have things in check, focus on one thing at a time and get better at it. Build a skill. If you need to lose weight, focus on that. If you need to make friends, focus on your social skills. And if you need money, focus on starting that business or building your business up, whatever it takes. But you got to do something about it. And I got to be that guy to tell you how to really change your life, not just feel better about the lack that you're in, but actually to see the abundance that you have once you expand your awareness by being honest about your life situation and being honest about your past traumas and your conditioning and uncovering all of that and seeing why the way you are and changing that narrative and changing that story about yourself and the things you tell yourself and changing the thoughts that's going on in your subconscious mind, because those are projected out onto the world and you experience that back as your reality. So if you want to actually change that, if you don't just want to feel good about yourself, because this process isn't going to feel good most of the time, and that's okay, because you're strong. I know you're powerful. We're not weak over here. We're not going to bitch. We're not going to moan. We're not going to complain. We're not going to come up with any excuses. We're not going to be fugazi. We're not going to fake like we're better than we are. We're going to become that person. We're going to do the thing that needs to be done. And change that identity and change your self-image. To have a powerful masculine self-image so you can walk through life with authority, with command over yourself, with self-mastery, and realize that your life is precious, bro, and that you should get the most out of it, and that you can do that, and you're worthy of that. That's it for this video. Zen Hustler, no slave. I'm out.